You know, I found that most retired telephone people are a very close-knit group. They have a real esprit de corps. And you talk to any of them about the phone company, and it really, pardon the expression, sets their bells to ringing. The Telephone Pioneers Museum in Corpus Christi isn't hard to find. It's on the first floor of a suburban Southwestern Bell building. But it doesn't have regular hours. So in order to get in, you have to contact one of the members of the Gulf Coast Life Member Club, local chapter of the Telephone Pioneers of America. The full title of the museum includes the name of H.R. Jack Bruner, who had been collecting old phones for more than 30 years by the time the museum opened in the basement of this building. Jack says the telephone pioneers are a bunch of good people trying to keep the history of their industry alive by restoring and preserving the old stuff.
That's a good one. These telephones are the oldest. I guess the oldest, not too many of them in existence. That one on the end is a Western Electric manufactured for the American Bell Telephone Company before the American Bell was ever born, way back then, 1876, 77. The candlestick come in existence somewhere around 1905. We can talk real well. I can hear you all the way across the room.
And you've got a push-to-talk handset, Jack.
How's that?
You have a push-to-talk handset. You have to key the transmitter.
You got to turn the switch?
Mm-hmm. Just push it to open.
Now? Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you fine.
Okay, Mac.
Jack's not alone in this effort. He has the help of a lot of other pioneers, including co-curators Mac McKinney and Blackie Blackburn.
This is one of the first switchboards. It didn't have lights on it to indicate when a call was coming in. What it actually had was a little door that when a call came in, the door opened. This brought in a buzzer and let the operator know she had an incoming call. When this door was open and they couldn't close it by plugging in a card, in other words, you plug a card in a door to stay open, they call that an open door. And OD, open door, has been the synonym ever since for a telephone that is out of order. The central, at one time, was the centrally located switchboard. And when you rang the operator back then with the old crank-type telephone, she answered by saying central.
This is what we call our radar board, or the MASH board, because it's one of the old-timey ones that they used during the war.
Mac and Blackie both have spent a fair amount of time with the phone company.
Over 40 years, 4 months, and 8 days.
Well, I've got 43 years, 15 days.
The invention of the telephone was one of those historical events that took place simultaneously in more than one part of the world. At the same time, Alexander Graham Bell was working on his telephone system in the United States. A fellow named Ericsson was doing the same thing in Sweden. They came up with almost identical inventions within a few months of each other, without either having heard of the other's work.
This is a mechanical duplicate of the human ear. Alexander Graham Bell was a speech teacher and taught the deaf to speak by the use of valves and how they use their mouth to form sounds. But this was the first telephone where you could talk from, say, point A to point B. Of course, it was a very short distance at that time.
The communications industry has become so streamlined and so automated, there are not as many future telephone pioneers now as there used to be.
We have dropped the requirements to be a pioneer from 21 years to 15 years so we can maintain our membership level. And in the future, it will be even more of a problem. The building here where I worked before I retired, we had 40 employees. The night we cut to what's called ESS, the electronic switching system, the next day there were 5 employees here.
The phone company, that is the one we used to call Ma Bell, expanded 3 times in this building before the installation of the electronic switching system. Now it doesn't even need all the room it has. Even the space upstairs where the operators work seems uncrowded and relatively serene.
There you go, it's ringing. You're welcome.
It may not make you long for those days of Hello Central or Number Please, but it is different.
Hello?
Hi, Dee.
Hi, Mac.
How does it work?
Works pretty good.
This one has no handset at all, but that is from Sweden. Still there, Dee?
Yes, I'm still here. I'm waiting for more education.
Sounds good, too.
The Telephone Pioneers Museum is in the phone company building in Corpus Christi, and listen carefully to this, it's not open all the time. You have to call ahead and make sure it is open. Corpus Christi, of course, is on the coastal bend where State Highway 35, US 77, and Interstate 37 all come together.